Guaraní is the language of 6.5 million people in southern central South America. While spoken in a few countries, most speakers live in Paraguay, where it shares co-official language status with Spanish and is spoken by over 3/4 of the population. Guaraní is a Tupian language, being related to other languages such as Tupi, Tupari, Caro and Aweti, though is by far the most spoken of all of these. Their ancestor was the reconstructed Proto-Tupian, which is thought to have been spoken around 5,000 years ago in southern Amazonia. Like a number of languages in the region, Guaraní features phonemic nasal vowels. Whether or not the velum is lowered, allowing air to flow through the nose while producing a vowel sound, is distinctive, and its presence or absence can change the meaning of a word. This is understood to have arisen since the time of Proto-Tupian. Modern Guaraní has a CV syllable structure. Syllables consist of a vowel and optionally a preceding consonant, but no consonants occur syllable finally. This was not always the case. In earlier forms of the language, as we see reflected in some sister languages, words could contain syllable final consonants. In the evolution of Guaraní, however, these were all lost. When a word final nasal was lost, it left behind the nasalization on the final vowel. Due to the structure of Guaraní words, the final syllable was always stressed, meaning that modern Guaraní only contrasts nasalization in stressed syllables. This nasalization arose as a two-step process. Firstly, vowels nasalized when before a nasal consonant in the same syllable. Then word final consonants were deleted, leaving the contrast in final position. However, the nasalization did not cease to operate when final consonants were lost. Guaraní features a series of pre-nasalized stops. When these occur word medially, they have a habit of resyllabifying, with the nasal element moving to the coda of the previous syllable, and the oral element remaining in the onset of the next. When this happens, new syllable final nasals come into existence, which then allow the preceding vowel to nasalize. As you saw a moment ago, nasals in Guaraní are not considered independent phonemes. They alternate allophonically with the pre-nasalized stops. This is triggered by other nasals later in the word, in a similar way to the vowel nasalization we've already seen. When this happens, these sounds surface as fully nasal, while in other situations they're pre-nasalized oral stops. This process can take place over quite a long distance. All other consonants are transparent, allowing nasality to reach through them without themselves becoming nasalized. However, there is one final process present in the language to which some sounds are not transparent. Whereas the two nasalization processes we've looked at so far, that affecting vowels and that affecting consonants, are both triggered by consonants, this final one is triggered by the vowels. When a word contains a phonemic nasal vowel, this nasalization is spread back across the whole word, causing all vowels and consonants it meets to nasalize. This is only triggered by phonemic nasals, so the nasal vowels created from pre-nasalized stops don't trigger this, only those arising from a lost historical nasal consonant. As mentioned, some of the consonants which are transparent to consonant-triggered nasal spread are not transparent to this type. Namely, the sonorants can be nasalized here, as well as the back fricative, but only in the dialect where it's realised as glottal rather than velar. The other consonants, voiceless stops and fricatives, remain transparent here and can't be nasalized, while the voiced stops again become nasals. In some other languages, certain sounds can block processes of spreading or harmony, preventing nasalization from spreading further beyond the blocker sound. No segments act as blockers themselves in Guaraní, but spreading can still be blocked in certain situations. Most notably, a stressed oral vowel will block nasal spread, which may arise in a case of compounding, as well as a couple of other situations. Additionally, a word initial vowel is often only nasalized if it occurs in the syllable directly before a phonemic nasal vowel. If there's an intervening syllable, however, this vowel does not nasalize. As one final point, I have so far shown spreading only to move to the left. This is the most common type, as most phonemic nasals occur word finally. But as mentioned, compounding can mess with the distribution of sounds. If a nasal vowel ends up before an oral vowel, nasality can also spread to the right, although it will again stop at a stressed oral vowel. So that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.